Okay, welcome back to Semi-Wild Alaska. I'm Dan.
And I'm Kate.
And in this video, we are prepping for winter by trying to wrap up the garden. We're going to talk about what worked, what didn't. We're going to start by getting into the greenhouse here.
What didn't do well was cucumbers.
Which
I
were
did not get anything.
back here. Yeah, they did nothing.
They grew, but they didn't do anything. So this year we had quite a few pepper plants. Last year we had really good success with pepper plants. But this year, aphids ravaged the pepper plants. And so we ended up having to rip them out. Got another little pumpkin here. So I got one here.
Oh, nice.
And we got another one down here.
Oh, yeah, that one's doing good.
Yeah, so we got two.
But we did better with the tomatoes.
We did. We did buy some from a local nursery. Those are the ones that did the best and are still doing quite well. I grew everything else from seed, and they are starting to ripen, but we still have quite a few that are green and won't ripen in time. So we'll still harvest them and leave them on the vine so that hopefully they ripen a little bit more. But I think the lesson learned on that one is, especially with a little baby, we probably won't be doing too many tomato starts this year. We'll probably just go ahead and buy them from the nursery next year so that we actually have a fighting chance of having some good tomato plants.
Yeah. Tomato harvest. So before we pull these tomato plants, we're going to pull those off of the vine. Nice. And hopefully they'll ripen a little bit inside. And then we can pull the tomatoes.
But we have a lot of different varieties. We have, cherry, like Sun Gold cherry tomatoes. We have Romas, tomato, Master Bush, Early Girls, Cherokee Purples, Genovese, Sart Rolla, a bunch of different ones. And we've actually had every single plant grow something. So that's good.
Check this out.
It's really cool. I'm gonna have a hard time getting them. Oh, not bad.
Cool though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one's molding on it, Chris.
This one.
Is it actually rotted?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna cut them out. The others are still
That's
good though.
alright, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Rolla ones.
They're the what? These purple ones?
Sart Rolla, I think. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly or not. But.
Neat. There's a huge bunch here.
Pretty.
Wow.
Look at those. They're
Beautiful.
So pretty.
They're heavy. It's
Yeah.
super heavy.
Yeah, they get big.
Look at this monster.
Yeah.
Got a couple of them. Yeah. Oh, that's all on one thing. Okay, I gotta clip him.
That baby's not gonna do anything though.
Yeah. Neat. Were these ones that we got from the greenhouse, or you started these from?
I started these.
Yeah, awesome.
But you don't need it.
Checking it out, Bubba?
Oh, look at them.
Oh, they're not too bad.
Nice. Much easier.
Move this one over. Is that alright?
Yep.
I think this might mean that we need a shed.
Yes.
So that's one thing. Yeah. I mean, we have a long list of projects, but one of the projects that would be very helpful for next year would be to build a shed. I've been looking at plans, I've been looking at other YouTube videos of other shed builds that people have done, and it seems pretty doable. But, I think we're still going to be on a big learning curve of how to do things with a kiddo around. Mm-hmm. And what should be something that's easily done in one summer, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The other project that I started this year, but obviously, again, did not complete, is we're going to actually expand this greenhouse. I'm going to try and almost double the footprint of it. And it's going to go out this side here. And I worked on it a little bit during the summer. And I got it to the stage that we're at now, which is I've cleared that area. I took the fence down that was there. I laid down a tarp, some weed barrier, some plastic, and I got some rock foundation in. But then it just started raining really all of September, and I just totally got stalled on the project. And at this point, it's basically October, and snow will probably fly within the next couple of weeks. And yeah, I just don't think that I'm going to get it done, and I don't want a partial structure standing over winter. So it will require me to take the roof off of what we have now and do a lean-to style, like single pitch. So I think this year we're going to try and give these plants that are in here as long of a season as we can, without me taking the roof off and, you know, basically losing the effectiveness of the greenhouse. But hopefully next year we'll be able to get that going. So hopefully spring won't be awful and raining, and I can get this expanded and the new roof on so that it's usable quickly. But we may have a delayed start next year, so I don't know what the garden's going to look like. Okay, so for those of you who were with us earlier in our videos and our gardening adventures, you'll probably recognize this area as the area that we converted from basically a blank space and put these raised beds up, and I cleared all of the old rock out, put weed barrier down, and put new rock down, or really, you know, move the rock around. And we have our nice little fake creek here with some creek plants. But I only ever got about to the deck with that. And this area down here, the walkway in front was totally overgrown. Grass was just taking over everything. As you can see, they have this, the previous owners of the house had this kind of old wood as a barrier to the yard, and yeah, it's seen better days. So I wanted to finish that part of the project. One thing I noticed with the rock that I had already put down under where the raised beds are is that some weeds were still popping through that weed barrier, and I realized that that just wasn't going to be enough. So from now on, what I'm going to do, and what I've been doing for the last couple months as I've been working on this project, is I've been putting cardboard down, thick cardboard, really, really thick cardboard, and then putting a thicker layer of plastic over it, hopefully to be like a really, really solid weed barrier, because we have a lot of rock in this backyard and a lot of rock around the front part of our house and around our garage, and it is just too much to keep up with to try and weed that all summer long. Just like the plants, which are great in the summer, they grow like crazy because there's so much sunshine and so much rain, so do the weeds follow. And it was just too much to manage, especially with Kate being pregnant this year, and kind of as the summer went along, she was, you know, had less and less energy and just couldn't quite do stuff. Even the stuff like in the greenhouse, which she usually takes care of just all on her own. So it was kind of left to me to manage everything else. Yeah, and it was really hard, and I don't think it's going to get easier with having a kid. You know, we're not going to want to spend our time weeding. We're going to want to spend our time growing and going out on adventures. So I think it looks pretty good. I still need to get a new edging barrier here. A lot of people do railroad ties in these parts, and I might get some railroad ties, but that can wait until spring. Okay, so this is another area that you can see probably the difference between the old rock out there and the new rock here, that I did the same thing that I did out back. So this is the back side of our garage. Don't mind all the junk, but all of this needed to be pulled up. So I raked the old rock out of the way just so it wasn't completely wasted. Cardboard down, plastic down, and then new rock. So you can see, let me walk you down here. You can see where I kind of ended for now because I was running out of plastic, and that is how overgrown, how far in, like from the line, it encroached in the yard into this rock area, and how many weeds and stuff are growing up. So it looks much better like this, and so I'm pleased with the result. Again, I'll need to get some new edges to define where the yard stops, but that should be much better. I also just worked on this side of the garage, which again is a far side, but you can see here's the cardboard I put down, the plastic that goes under it, and then fresh rock. Again, don't mind all the fencing scrap. This is all of our gardening stuff is a work in progress, and we need a place to store it. But I just have this plastic kind of doubled back over the rock a little bit there, so the rock actually goes all the way down to this edge. So what I decided is, I think when I get those railroad ties or whatever I'm going to use, I wanted the barrier to go under them as well, into the far side of the barrier, so that the grass and whatever can't sneak under it and then separate the barrier from the rock and then start encroaching again. So it's going to look like this for a little while, which isn't great, but I think in the long run it'll be pretty nice when I get it all done. And then I'll, like I said, unfold this, put barrier down, let the rock run against it, and that'll be good. All right, so another new addition to our garden is this little bed that I made. So this is kind of near our front door and outside of our fence, but I know it's probably hard to visualize, but the garden that has the raised beds is just on the other side of this fence. And our friends that visited us and came fishing this summer, they came up also to throw a little baby shower for Kaylin. That was a big reason why everyone came up, friends and family. So they also got us a rose bush to just be planted for our kiddo in honor of her. So I created this bed and lined it with some rock and some driftwood, and hopefully that'll get to be a big, beautiful rose bush, and that'll be just, nice to see how it grows along with our kiddo. So as we're going through our garden here, you might be wondering, this is a weird video for you guys to be showing, but actually we share a lot of our gardening stuff, but we share it through Instagram. So it's a little bit easier to keep up on things as they happen when we do it through Instagram. So if you guys are interested, find us over at Summer Wild Alaska on Instagram, and you can stay a little bit more current on how our garden is doing and other stuff that we're doing, adventures, sightseeing, animal sightings. We post a lot of that stuff over on Instagram, so check us out over there. Okay, well, we pretty much have the greenhouse cleaned up here. Kate's just pruning the last of the sugar pumpkins, hoping to get the few that we have on there to ripen up before it gets too far along in the season. Got a really good pile of tomatoes there. That was exciting and fun to take all those plants down, so that was great. So next we will move outside of the greenhouse to the 3 beds that we have out in what we call the old garden, and we'll talk about what worked and what didn't work out there. Okay, so we're now in old garden, and yeah, this was, well, it was a mixed bag.
Mixed bag. So last fall I had planted a ton of garlic bulbs in all 4 beds. We got exactly 1 garlic. It was so wet and warm that I think they just dissolved, essentially. That's all I can figure out, because I dug through. I couldn't find any of my bulbs. We don't have rabbits and other things getting in here, so I don't think they were the culprit. I really think it was just that it was a really wet year and they just fell apart.
Yeah.
But as you can see, the chamomile that I planted a couple of years ago just keeps coming back and is quite prolific. So that is something we're gonna have to address.
Yes.
Next spring. Not that I mind the chamomile, but I have a ton left over from last year, and lesson learned, it is a weed. It will grow like a weed.
Yeah.
And we certainly have plenty.
Yeah. Something else that grows like a weed around here is the rhubarb that you split.
Oh yeah.
So
we had a giant rhubarb plant.
Yeah, so that
just
one,
on the side of the
it lives there.
greenhouse. And I cut out almost the entire plant. I left a tiny bit of root, and that came back from the root.
Yeah, and you planted it back behind the greenhouse.
I split it about, I think, into 10 or 12 plants.
Yeah.
And I just kind of let it do its thing, because you don't want to pick it that first year. So once it dies back, we'll clean it up and compost, and then we'll We'll be able to pick it next year.
Yeah, but so yeah, rhubarb's easy. That's one we can always
Count
go
on.
to. Yeah, that's a great one here in Alaska, and we love making rhubarb jam and
All sorts of
spring
rhubarby
conserve
things.
and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so that one's great.
Yeah.
We'll also be hopefully moving our compost bin. We already have really like 2 locations for it. This is our old one, and when we eventually build a shed, this will be relocated over to here, which is our compost pile.
So last year we had a ton of potatoes from grow bags, and it was quite successful. And we just didn't get to them, and they grew like seeds. They grew lots of vines, and I didn't think they were going to be viable for planting. And so we threw them in the compost, and we got a ton of potatoes from those seeds.
All right, well, there it is. There's our haul. That is a good amount of good-sized potatoes. Excited to get into those. Yeah, so that's the potato pile now. We know that that works. So maybe that's how we'll potato until we clean this up into, you know, a more reasonable composting position.
Yep. We did do grow bags as well, so we got essentially double harvest on our potatoes this year.
Yeah.
It is still a bit of a mess back here. We will throw everything into the compost pile and clean up as best we can. This year we're not gonna worry about adding anything to the beds or covering them. The straw that we used last year grew a bunch of straw plants in it, and I didn't like contending with that. So we'll just leave it as is and then add to it in the spring when we're ready to plant.
Yeah. So one aspect of the garden that has actually done pretty well for us this year has been the raspberries. Last year they didn't do too much. I think it just wasn't a warm enough summer. But this year, in the late summer, they finally started producing. So we've got a nice haul of raspberries. We tend to eat them right off the vine, and so do the dogs. But we also freeze the ones that we keep, and we'll use them in jams and conserves and stuff like that. Come here, come get a raspberry. Oh, good boy. There's no moose over there anymore. Come on. You want a raspberry? Oh. That's pretty good. You want this one that you knocked on the ground? Good boy. Yeah, so this is our bed that we had all the lettuce in.
And onions.
And that did really well.
Both did really well. Yep. We had rutabagas and celeriac in here. The rutabagas were monsters.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Wow, that is a monster. Oh my gosh. Well, we know we can successfully grow rutabaga.
Yeah. Those were really fun to harvest.
Yeah, celeriac didn't do anything. We have golden and red beets in here.
Beets. Full beet. Nice. Ooh, look at that color.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's probably the one.
The one good beet. No, come on. There's going to be more. Maybe.
I don't know.
Look at that. That's it.
Kind of.
That's also a beet.
Yeah, tiny beet. A tiny beet.
Tiny beets are okay.
Well, you know.
Lots of greens for small beets.
These are still kind of doing things.
Broccoli?
Yeah, these are. I wonder if I planted a different plant, like what the heck is that called? I can't think of the name of it. It's like a hybrid.
So not just straight up regular brocks.
Yeah, they're something else.
Okay. Well, so they're slow, and then our cauliflower was slug infested because it was so rainy.
Yep.
So that was a hard one. So I don't know, but those are huge plants.
Yeah. Yeah, what the heck is that? The thing that's coming to mind is celeriac. It's definitely not celeriac. It's
We know
oh
what we
my
planted.
gosh.
We're super good at this and organized.
Well, the tape washed off the right. Like the tape writing got washed off in the rain.
Yeah, we should probably write it down somewhere else. What was in this bed?
This was radishes, and they did very well.
Yeah, they did.
We got a lot of radishes this year. We did let kind of the last of them go too long, and they got waterlogged and kind of woody. But the radishes do really well here. And then
we have our carrots, which
Yeah.
we've gotten a few of.
I generally like to wait until the width is about 1.5 inches around the base, so the shoulders of the carrot.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got purple, orange, and white carrots.
Nice. Yep. We usually have our first snow right around Halloween, so we have maybe a month at the most. 2 weeks if we're unlucky, 4 weeks if we're lucky, and yeah, we'll be wrapping it up. All right, you guys. Oh, sorry. Just punch Caitlin in the gut. All right, you guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed this recap of our 2025 gardening season. We will see how next year goes. If you like this video, please hit If you liked this video, please hit that thumbs up sign and let us know. And if you want to have more videos come your way, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.